Kids and chicks and neither of those don't fight you. Welcome to Making for Last Time. My name is Katie. Today, I am going to be ranking all of my Ensley Rain palettes. I basically have all of them except Harvest Moon and the Twisted Tea Party and that new Nutty one, the 6-pan palette. But I have every other Ensley Rain palette that has come out since I got into Ensley Rain. So I have decluttered the original Cosmic Dreamer. It just wasn't really my jam. It was so neutral and I just wasn't using it. And at the time, I didn't realize, like, I knew I loved Ensley Rain, but at the time, I didn't know that I was going to be, like, involved with Ensley Rain. I didn't know that I was actually going to be in a committed relationship with Ensley Rain. But I probably still would have decluttered it anyways, just because it was so neutral. So anyways, if you guys are interested in seeing how I rank my Ensley Rain palettes, then hang out. I think you guys are going to be a little bit surprised by this whole fucking thing and maybe end up pissed in the end. You might get pissed. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 Ensley Rain palettes. Oh, no, that's not true. I knew that couldn't be right. Now I need to reassess. Hold, please. Okay, I got it all squared away. Now you're probably really going to be pissed. Okay, so coming in at number 10, I have 10 Ensley Rain palettes, and coming in at number 10 is the Flutter palette. And honestly, okay, so here's the truth. I haven't actually used this palette yet. It looks amazing. The color story looks amazing. The shimmers look fantastic. This color right here is like my heart. And I just haven't used it yet. And I feel like the reason why is because it's like this, it's got that kind of earthy, well, no, it's not the earthiness because they've come out with an earthy palette before. It's just, I don't know. I'm having a hard time figuring out how I'm going to mix this purple with these other colors because it doesn't match. And that's a problem that I frequently have. So I feel like the color story, but the other thing about it is, I just realized the reason why this is less my favorite is because it's so small. This is a really small palette for Ensley Rain, and they actually just came out with an even smaller palette, which I didn't feel like I could actually do business with. So you guys know me, I really like bigger palettes. I feel like they have a good, I feel like their long palettes are a good middle ground between a big palette and a small palette. And I feel like this color story just lacks a few colors that if it just had like 3 or 4, maybe 5, maybe that whole row, maybe another 6 colors, then I would really be able to work with it and have pulled something off. But I just haven't felt like, I haven't known exactly what to do with it. So I haven't used it yet. I'm gonna do something beautiful with it. It doesn't fucking matter. And then the second one is the Flourish palette. And so this is what helped me figure it out. This color story is fucking awesome. It's beautiful. The shimmers are amazing. The look I created with it, I actually haven't posted it yet, but I'm going to. The look I created with it is fucking phenomenal. This palette is beautiful. It's just a little small. You know, I know it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it that counts. It's just a little bit more difficult for me to feel like I have a lot of freedom to create a look when the palette is so little. I just like to have a few more color choices, but I know that's not everybody's preference. And honestly, I feel like that's not a lot of people's preference. I feel like a lot of people on the platform, they prefer smaller palettes. Brands listen. I hope that, I mean, I'll still buy all of them, except I didn't get that 6-pan palette because that doesn't even look like anything that I can work with. So I know that people got it in PR, and I saw like maybe there was one video up on it. It just wasn't, it didn't scream my name. So it was only 6 pounds. So the next palette is the Underland palette, and don't get me wrong, the shimmers in this, I'm actually editing the video that I did for this right now. I uploaded a reel on the look I created with it, which did not capture what this actually looked like, but my video I feel like does capture it. These two shadows right here, this one and this one, are fucking crazy, like mind-bending. There's actually one of the single shadows in this collection. Hold on. I have this amazing chair, but it has like 2 parts. It's like an ADHD chair, and it has like a foot part where I can like put my legs up and like get in all these different positions, but it doesn't seem to be working to my favor right now because I can't get it up. This never happens to me, I swear. So anyways, it has a shadow called Mind Melt, and it's like mind melting. The reason why this ranked a little bit lower is because it's just pretty dark for me. It's like a kind of a dark color story, which the look I created with it is fucking baller. The other thing about it, what is the other thing about it? It came with highlighters, which are badass, but it didn't have any of the moon dusters. So as far as collections go, this is probably like the highlighters are fucking bomb. Like both of them. I'm wearing one of them now. I did a look with the other one yesterday. The other one is surprising. Like it's so pretty. It's like the color of it is not like anything I have anywhere. Like I'm glad that it came with those highlighters because they're bomb. It just didn't have any moon dusters as a collection. So I love those moon dusters and I don't use them very often, but I don't really give a fuck. They're amazing. I like having them. I like throwing them in my bag. Like they're amazing. The other thing was the lip collection that it came with had 2 of those butter glosses and one of them was black. And for my age group, and I don't know how this is for other people, but if you have fine lines around your lips, like butter glosses really don't work for you anymore. Like that's it. And I even use the Unearthly black lip liner, Villain, I think is what it's called. Villain, air quotes. It's not like villain, it is villain. It's still like bled and it happened really quickly. So if you're like older, those lip glosses, I mean that black probably isn't gonna work for you because you're gonna have bleeders unless you like, I don't know. I took it off, put on the lip liner really well and like kind of kept it down below and it was within like 2 hours because I was like filming that reel. So it was within 2 hours that it was already bleeding and you can actually see it kind of starting to creep up in that reel if you look really closely, which I almost didn't post it, but fuck that, I posted it. So anyways, this collection is like amazing. The theme is amazing. The fucking idea, the color story, everything about it, I love it. Just as far as like my preference, it's a little dark. And it's also a little small. It just is. It's a little small. It's not too small though. This palette is not too small. So it's got 15 colors. That's enough for me. 15 colors is enough for me to like come up with a variety of different looks and be able to use my imagination and like, you know what I mean? I feel like when there's only 2 rows of like, what is it? Oh, it's 6. So this is 12. I guess that's decent, but it just seemed like, I just felt like I needed a couple fillers. That's all. I love this palette. Like seriously, please hear my heart. I fucking love this palette. It just ranks low because it's smaller. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that's why. Next is the Cosmic Dreamer. I love this palette. It doesn't, I feel like that I didn't give it enough. I haven't used it enough. I wonder if the special shades, I mean, it feels like it has a lot of special shades. I love the color story. This is like one of my favorite pinks of all time. It like is shifty. It shifts to like a gold. It's just like a more of a subtle shift. So it kind of almost seems like not shifty, but it is shifty. If it was a flat shimmer pink, it wouldn't be one of my favorite shades. So I think I've had this conversation. I don't know why this, I don't know. I don't know why it was lower. I love the color story. I love the blue with the pink. It's like fucking everything. Like, I love this palette. I love that she redid it. I love the artistry. I love the graphic. It's amazing. In fact, I'm not even sure why that ranked right there. I guess it had to because I fucking love the Groovy Garden and this is so neutral for me. It's so fall toned. It's so grungy for me. But there was just enough of a mix of these like cutie pie brighter colors that were even like gray. The colors along the top row, they have a hint of, they're kind of a downtrodden fucking bright. They're like sad and happy, sad, happy. It's like, but dude, everything about this palette, there's so many mattes and like, I love a heavy matte palette. Like I love, but also there wasn't so few shimmers that it really wasn't anywhere to go. There's plenty of depth in the shimmers. There's plenty of depth in the palette. These pinks are fucking adorable. These mint greens are adorable. Everything about this palette. And also one of the things that made me love it so much was the fact that it is kind of an earthy toned palette and it still just stole my heart like that. It's so cute. I love this fucking palette. Then the next up would be the Flower Moon, and honestly, this was a toss up between the Flower Moon and the Groovy Garden because I feel like this is just a little bit more me, but dude, I fucking love that Groovy Garden palette. It is so bomb. But this has like, it's not matte heavy, it's shimmer heavy, but like the shimmers in this are fucking, oh God. Like this shimmer color story is fucking unbelievable. The thing is like you can't really see what's going on. Yeah, you kind of can. Look at that. Look at those, look at the reflections. Nothing like what they look like. What you're seeing is like, what is that? Yeah, that end one is like a blue with a purple shift. It's fucking unbelievable. There you go. There's the shift. This palette's super cute. And honestly, I like the matte color story of the Groovy Garden just as much. It just seemed like this with those brighter tone pinks. I don't know. Honestly, the Groovy Garden could have easily made it in front of this. Like, there's a tie. Now, the rest of these are solid. They're fucking solid. Like, this is solid how they go. Well, maybe not solid. Honestly, I love all of these next ones like so much that it was like difficult. I mean, any of them could have gone in any of the, well, no, that's not true. The number one position is number one. The number two position is number two. These next two are like, they could have been alternate on these next two too. So the next one is the Enchanted, what is it? Lands of Enchantment. This is the one that everybody got so fucking pissed about the graphic and the everything like that. But dude, this color story is the most perfect pastel palette I have ever had the pleasure of working with. Because it's not a pastel palette, but it has all those light pastels and they all are super pigmented, super good. In fact, I have wondered if these pastels in this palette wouldn't give the Creepy Cute palette a go, because as far as I'm concerned, the Creepy Cute palette is still the undisputed pastel champion, and I feel like these pastels were equally satisfying and equally pigmented. I had no problems whatsoever with these pastels. They're fucking amazing, and the shimmers in this palette, unbelievable. Also the names, oh my god, that color Earthlight, that hollow shadow, ooh, fuck man. God damn, every one of these shimmers is magical. And honestly, every one of the shimmers in every one of these palettes that I've talked about, up until, like, all of them, they're all magical. So it doesn't even matter. So the Strawberry Moon palette is next. And honestly, this is like one of my favorite palettes of all time. This is the revised version. And I actually like pulled the other one out and kind of put it in my, out of the way, because this is like the remake and it's got the removable pans. And this color right here, Radiant, is my favorite color. It's like, God, every time I see it, it just fucking makes me freak the fuck out. It never disappoints. It's like gold to peach. Fuck, man, it's so pretty. God damn it, it's pretty. So that's like one of my favorite colors of all time, actually, in any palette ever. But as I was opening them and I was looking at them, and like, I thought that the Cold Moon was gonna be lower, because I love the Strawberry Moon. I love the Lands of Enchantment, and the Cold Moon is just a cool tone, like neutral palette. And then I fucking opened it and remembered. And then I remembered the looks I did with it, and I've used it multiple times. This is one of the few palettes that I've actually filmed with multiple times. I'm pretty sure I filmed with the Groovy Garden more than once as well. And dude, there's just something about this palette that like, it's so good. It's so good. And this is actually like a go-to palette. Like this is like a holy grail palette. Like you could use it for any event and look hot as fuck. In either direction. You could go to something crazy. You could go to something fucking low key. This is the palette. Like this is the fucking best palette. And by all rights, this should be number one. It should be. But what is number one? You guys are going to be so mad. I know right now some of you guys know what it is, because I'm saying you're going to be mad. It's the Midwinter Dream collection, with that collab collection that she did with Brittany Huffman. And this is the color story, and it doesn't have removable pans, but it's just, the shimmers in this are fucking insane, and there's so many textures, and it's just such a fun color story. And also it's rare. You can't get it anymore, and so that makes it a little special. Honestly, the Cold Moon would be number one if I didn't have this special palette that was like, and this was actually my first Ensley Rain palette, and it just stole my heart. So, and literally every time I open it and I look at like this color, Keone, Marzana, like Marana, I mean all of them. Wait, does that say? Yeah, Marana. Oh my god, like every single one of these, like all these middle shades right here are fucking crazy good. And I'm not gonna go into like swatching them because I don't want to hurt you guys' feelings, but the other thing is this color Winterberry, it looks like it's gonna be super peach, like it almost might not even show, like it might almost look like a white on your skin if you're like red enough, and that might be true if you're red enough, but this actually turned out to be a really nice pink on my skin. So like blending out these shades using this, it ended up being a super cute pink. And so my favorite Ensley Rain palette is the Midwinter Dream. And then my second favorite is the Cold Moon, which shouldn't shock you. I'm sure a lot of you thought that it was gonna be the Cold Moon was gonna be my number one, but it's because you forgot about the Midwinter Dream, because many of you are like, fuck, I wish I would have got that. I wish you would have too. But this was actually my first Ensley Rain palette, and also again, it was a palette that I got it and I knew that there was like something really special about this brand and that I was gonna, you know, hit that shit. So anyways, let me know if you guys are shocked and pissed. I'm sure that some of you are a little bit like disappointed, but anyways, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell because you can't wait to see what happens next. Hit the like button if you like this video, or if you just like my sparkling personality and bright charm, and hang out with me in the comments because I fucking love it. If you got like halfway through this video and you're like, oh my god, she's so pretty till she opens her big fucking mouth, then go check me out on Instagram. I don't talk as much on Instagram. And if you were like, don't sugarcoat it, Katie, why don't you tell us how you really feel, then go check, oh wait, no, I'm not saying that anymore. And the reason why I'm not saying it anymore is because I'm about to switch my Patreon to YouTube. They take more money, but I've been having so many problems with Patreon that I just don't want to deal with its bullshit anymore, and it just seems like a little bit easier. Also, I feel like more people will hear about my Patreon live streams or my live streams if it's on YouTube. So I'm just gonna do it and bite the bullet, and it's gonna be fine. So that's the reason why I stopped saying that. That's the reason why I'm not saying anything at all, because I haven't done it yet. So thank you guys so much for watching. You could have been anywhere, but you were here wasting your time with me, and I totally appreciate you. Later. Slayer. Okay, now it's all coming back. There's that voice.